On today's video, we're going to give a quick overview of Jocko Willink's book, Extreme Ownership, and how you can apply some of these principles in your hiring and interviewing strategies. Hey everyone, welcome to the Nenni and Associates Executive Search channel. I'm Jim Schaefer, and we're focused here on providing you with exclusive content for improving your hiring, interviewing, and recruiting strategies. Now, if you're new here, consider subscribing to the channel, and if you're getting value out of this content, please pass it along to a friend or a colleague. Now, if you have questions on this topic, please drop them in the comments below at the end of the video, or if you have ideas for future video topics, please drop those in the comments below as well. I'd love to hear from you. So let's get into today's video. So extreme ownership has been a game changer for me, both professionally and personally. Now, if you haven't read the book, Jocko Willink is a former Navy SEAL, and he alternates in the book between chapters telling stories about extreme ownership in the battlefields of Iraq with his SEAL teams, and then also how he implements extreme ownership with his consulting business, working with companies, how to implement extreme ownership from the top down, and then also from the bottom up.
Hey, there's problems from your boss, you absorb them. And you don't pass them down to your people. You know, you want us to stay or stay late and do a bunch of crazy stuff that we don't think we should be doing. Cool. My guys are going to go home. I'm going to absorb that. I'll get it done myself. I'm going to absorb these problems. All
right. So what are some of the key takeaways? Now, the title of the book, Extreme Ownership, it really is extreme. It's difficult for people to adopt this concept of, hey, somebody on my team screwed up. They did something that I wasn't aware of. They did something that I didn't approve of, but they're on my team, so I got to take responsibility for that. I got to take ownership for that. Yes, that's extreme ownership. When your first reaction, typically, we get defensive, say, hey, that wasn't on me. I didn't know they were doing that. It's kind of like in major college sports, when a recruiting scandal breaks out and the head coach of the team says, I didn't know that. I can't be held responsible for that because I didn't know. Well, somebody who adopts extreme ownership, a leader who takes extreme ownership will say, that's on me, period. Here's what we're going to do to fix it. And I've adopted this as a recruiter. When we qualify a candidate, when myself or someone on my team qualifies a candidate and we submit them to our client, and the client comes back after the interview and said, hey, Jim, this guy doesn't have this. Why are we even talking to him? I'm certainly not going to blame the candidate, and I'm definitely not going to blame anybody on my team, because ultimately that falls on me. As difficult as it is to take responsibility for something that the candidate said or didn't say in the interview, that falls on me. And we can use that moment, right? We can use whatever that missed qualification piece is, and we can utilize that as a filter for future candidates moving forward. So you just take this mentality, hey, that's on me, period. What are we going to do to fix this to still meet our goal of ultimately filling the position with the right candidate? So when you're interviewing, because there are a lot of people interviewing right now, you have an opportunity when the interviewer, the hiring manager, asks you, hey, what happened at this company? Why did you move from here to here? Or tell me about a time when you went through a really challenging situation. How did you overcome it? What was that situation? And how did you adjust to that really tough time? You have a choice. You can adopt extreme ownership and you can apply the lessons learned, or you can blame the company, you can blame the economy, you can blame your boss. You want to stand out in an interview? Take extreme ownership for things that have happened in your past. What lessons did you learn, and how are you going to apply those moving forward in this position with this company? Like, yeah, you know what? I did make some mistakes in my past, but here's what I learned from it. Here's the filters that I've now used, and here's how I can apply this and be a good fit for your company and for this position. So adopt extreme ownership if you really want to stand out in an interview process. Or maybe you're thinking, hey, I wish my boss adopted extreme ownership. Well, here's your opportunity. Buy 2 copies of the book, read it yourself, and then give another copy to your boss and say, hey, these principles, these strategies of extreme ownership are things that I'm going to be implementing in my day-to-day activities, and I want you to hold me accountable. I hope you can read this book and we can read it together, and we can both adopt this mentality of extreme ownership, and let's just see what we can get accomplished. So that's it for today's video. We didn't have time, of course, to go through the entire book, but I'm going to include a link in the description below so you can purchase it for yourself. It's definitely worth the read. And if you're getting value out of this content, please subscribe to the channel or pass it along to a friend or a colleague. And until next time, I'm Jim Schaefer, and we'll catch you on the next video.